There we go. Welcome to Caleb's Basketball Pod. For this episode, we're going to do a little basketball stock market, we'll call it. And I'm going to talk about whether I'm buying or selling. We're going to go with 3 teams from the East. No, we'll go 4 teams from the East, 4 teams from the West. And I'm going to talk about whether I'm buying or selling their stock. So, just for example, Indiana's at 4-4. They're medium, mid-pack team. Am I buying or selling that they stay mid-pack? Am I buying into them going above mid? Or am I selling on, I think they drop and go under mid? So that's just an example of what we're going to be talking about. But let's kick you off in the East. We'll do the 4 East teams first. Let's go Philadelphia. Right now they sit at 1-6 right now, and a lot of injuries. For the start of the season, we had just Tyrese Maxey. Just got to see Paul George back in the last couple games on a minutes restriction. He had 18 points on 7 of 9 shooting against his former team, the Los Angeles Clippers. But am I buying or selling on them being this bad? I'm going to buy into them getting better. I do think they get better. Embiid's supposed to be back on Tuesday against New York. That's huge for them. But at that same point, they play the next night against Cleveland, and he stated that he won't play back-to-backs. So I do think they're going to get better. I believe they'll make the playoffs and hopefully get Maxey back healthy, get Embiid healthy, get George healthy, and get on the wall. I think they'll be a top 6 team and they won't worry about the play-in this year. So I'm buying that Philadelphia 76ers stock will go up. Now, a talk around the league has been the Chicago Bulls, that they've started a little bit better than some expected. When they started 3-4, but then they dropped a couple. So let's talk about the Bulls. Am I buying that they're going to get better and possibly make the play-in, or am I selling? On the Chicago Bulls, I am selling because I believe that eventually they're going to blow this team up. I think for players like Vucevic, Zach LaVine, that's playing really well. I think they're playing really well to get their way out of Chicago at this point. So I think around trade deadline, they probably will have traded all of them, or one or both of them, I should say, and retain draft picks in return for them. So I'm selling. I do not see the Bulls making the play-in, and I would sell any stock you had on the Bulls. The Nets, a surprising 4-14. Pleasant surprise 4-14. Will they hover around the play-in, or is this just a lucky start? Again, much like the Bulls, I'm selling, and I think probably by trade deadline they probably will have traded Cam Johnson, maybe Dorian Finney-Smith, guys like that keep guys like Cam Thomas, probably Dennis Schroeder, guys like that. I see them keeping, but we probably will have traded at least 1 or 2 of Cam and Dorian Finney-Smith. And they're probably going to go more towards the rebuild, which was more than likely when they traded away Mikal Bridges. So I'm going to go with selling on them. And then for the final East team, I'm going to talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers. Am I buying or selling them as championship contenders? I'm buying in. I think there's a new style they're playing with. I do think they're a dangerous team right now in the NBA. They are top 5 in offense and defense. Impressive. And just the way they're playing, it's a new style. It seems like a breath of fresh air in Cleveland. And just watching the games, you can see a difference in how they play now from how they played last season. So I'm buying into them being world championship contenders, and the fact that them and Boston currently are the only 2 teams in the East with a winning record. I'd say it's good to buy into that stock. Now let's jump to the West real quick. We have Pelicans. Are we buying or selling them at 3-6? Can they get better? Or is this where they land, and do they fight to make a play-in spot? I'm going to say they're going to get better. I'm looking to couple weeks down the road when McCollum and or DeJounte Murray get back. We've had missed games by Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, a lot of guys just not playing for them. So when they get healthy, I think they'll be fine, but I do think they need a center. Nikola Vucevic from Chicago, who I just mentioned, would be a nice fit, I believe, for them. But yeah, I'm buying into the Pelicans, and I think they'll be at least a play-in team for the West. Let's talk about the Golden State Warriors. They sit at 7-1, and I'm most definitely buying that stock. I think Golden State their defense looks amazing. One of the best defensive teams I've seen in a while. And with just how they're playing, them in Oklahoma, that like head and shoulders above the rest defensively at this moment. And Steph Curry shooting well, Buddy Hield shooting well. I mean, they're playing like 12 players every game. That's hard to do, but the fact that you have belief in your team to go 12 deep, that's pretty big. So I'm buying Golden State. Let's talk about the Grizzlies. They're at 5-4. They've been up and down. I think there's still some winnable games they've dropped. But I also don't think they've been 100% healthy yet, nor close to at this point. So I would still buy into the Grizzlies. I think they're going to be a top 3 seed in Western Conference when it's over, just because of the consistency and the talent. And this is if they stay healthy. If they get healthy and stay healthy, they compete defensively, they hustle. Offensively, they're looking better. And you have guys like John Morant, Desmond Bane finding their shots. John Morant's been a highlight well all season. I'd buy into what the Grizzlies are doing. Now, for our last team, we're going to go for Houston Rockets. Houston Rockets are at 5-3. They've looked really good. And I do think that they'll be in the play-in. I don't think they'll make the playoffs as a top 6 seed. I do think they'll be around that 7-10 area. So I would buy the market on the Houston Rockets. I think they will do good. They'll continue to play this way. Emi Udoka as head coach, I think he's a really, really good head coach. So I most definitely buy into how the Houston Rockets are playing, and I believe they'll continue, and I think they will make a play-in. Now let's start with our Vegas picks for tonight, Friday, November 8th. We have Indiana at Charlotte, and we have the Hornets at plus 6.5. I picked the Pacers on this, and I'd go over 234. We have the Hawks at Pistons. We have the Pistons minus 1.5. I picked the Hawks on this, and I'd go over 213. We have Pelicans Magic. We have the Magic at minus 5.5, which I don't really get. I'd go over 215, and I pick the Pelicans. We have Nets Celtics. We have Celtics minus 13.5. That's a little tough because I do think the Celtics will win. Do I think it will be by 14 or more? I don't think so, so I'd go for Nets on this one. I'd go over 227. We have Warriors Cavs. Now it's down to 3.5 minus for Cleveland. I'm going to go with Golden State on this one, and I'm going to go over 227. Then we have Milwaukee Bucks at the New York Knicks. We have the Knicks at minus 6.5. I don't know if the Knicks will lose, but I don't think they'll win by 7 if they win. So I'm going to go Milwaukee on this, and I'm going to go over 219. We have the Suns at the Mavericks. We have Mavericks minus 2.5. I'm going to go Phoenix on this one, and I'm going to go over 236. We have Wizards at Grizzlies. Grizzlies minus 7.5. I take the Grizzlies and go over 223. We have Rockets at Thunder. Thunder minus 7.5. I'm going to take the Thunder on this one and go over 218. We have Blazers at Timberwolves. Timberwolves minus 12.5. Take Timberwolves on this. It's a little high, but I think they're starting to figure it out. And I'm going to go under 227. We have Heat at Nuggets. Nuggets minus 2.5. I'll take Denver on this one and go over 218. We have Sixers at Lakers. Lakers minus 7.5. I'm going to take the Lakers on this one and I'll go under 233. Then we have Clippers at Kings for our last game, and the Kings are -6.5. I'm actually going to go Clippers on this and go over 225. Thank you for watching. Continue stay tuned, and I'll see you Monday.